Africans are dreamers. They always tell you about their dreams. They live very close to what I feel is the Spirit of Christ. And you'll walk into their house and they'll want to tell you about the dream that they had and how that correlates with your recent visit with them about the gospel. You start to realize that things don't happen by chance. You don't get called on a mission by chance. My mother was very worried about, as any mom would, to have their son go to Africa. So I'll never forget. My mom was doing education week at BYU, and she sees this little black lady walking around on campus. So my mom stops off the side of the road and says, "Do you need a ride somewhere?" Realizing that, hey, my son's about to go to Africa, but not realizing that this little lady was actually from Zimbabwe. And her name was Sister Dube, and she was one of the first members that had been baptized in Africa. She was actually baptized up in Europe and then went back to Zimbabwe. But she was here for a short time, and she actually was lost and needed some help. And my mom found out that she was from Zimbabwe, and they started talking, and she promised my mom that she would be my mother while I'm in Africa. So it's pretty neat to have that experience. And then my first area in the capital city of Harare, 3 houses down, was Sister Dube's home. And it was just reassuring for me and for my mom to know that God's looking out and things don't happen by chance. And the more that you place faith in those small moments and the small pearls of feeling the Spirit and those small bits of wisdom and those experiences that you'll never forget. I'll never forget. Quickly I learned how spiritual these people were and how they all did want to talk about God, and they're very, very religious people. They love to sing, they love to read the scriptures, they love to talk about God. Rarely do you ever meet someone that doesn't want to talk about God. I remember one time in one of the low-density areas in the first area that I was in, it'd been like a pretty rough time. My companion had been sick and been a little bit downtrodden, and here I was, this new missionary, and trying to figure out, what am I doing and how do I help us have success in our area. So, I've been focused a lot on prayer and learning about that. So after, hours of not getting anywhere with anybody, I decided, let's say a prayer on this corner of this street. So we kind of tucked away and said a quick prayer to have God guide us to anybody that was looking to be taught. So we get done with the prayer, and sure enough, we go and knock on a door, and not only did we get rejected, but they opened up the door for their dogs to chase us down the street. And you start to put your head back down, and all of a sudden this young boy comes by, and he's on his bike, and he says, "Hey, elders." And I said, "Oh, hi." He says, "I've actually, are you guys elders, right?" And I said, "Yeah, we're elders for the Church of Jesus Christ." He says, "Can you come to my house?" We were taught by an elder 3 years ago when we moved, and we've never been able to find the elder since. And I was riding my bike, and I just been riding around, and I decided to look down the street, and I saw you guys standing there on the corner, and I said that I really appreciate it if you could come teach me and my mom. And that was the Rice family. So from that point forward, my faith and that experience that I was able to have early enough on my mission guided me as a pivotal moment for me to have that in the first few months of my mission, to know that God really is there. And that people really do want to hear your message. And that experiences don't come easy, and that the trial of your faith is the greatest blessing that you'll ever experience. Because through the trial of your faith, you'll see miracles happen. You're lucky to go to Zimbabwe. You're lucky to go to Malawi. You're lucky to be in Africa. I'm starting to learn that the more humble a person is, the more of God's love that they have inside of them, and the greater of a spirit that they are. You start to realize, well, these people might not have much when it comes to life, but they are very blessed. Blessed more than you and I probably can be in life, because they live by faith every single day. They know that God is there. It's not a question. Whereas when we seem to quantify and gain more assets and physical possessions in life, we seem to start to wonder if God is there. But when you're living every single day where your next meal will come, and being completely humble because of the circumstances, their faith is so strong it's humbling to you. So the most important thing for you to do is strip yourself of pride, strip yourself of everything that you think you know, and all prejudgment, and follow the Spirit. And the Spirit does amazing things, because it's not you converting anybody, it's the Spirit. And you're there as a vessel to carry that. And that's the greatest experience that you can have, is to make yourself spiritually worthy to be guided and do the Lord's work as He wants, in a place in the world that's a Christian hotbed, where the people are wanting God in their life. They're not denying God. They're wanting a closer relationship with God. And that is something that I count myself blessed. And the experiences that you have are experiences that you make based off of your faith. And to be able to say that if you do this, you get this blessing in this experience, it makes me feel pretty darn lucky.